We're back with our recap of the third episode of Lovecraft. Holy Ghost is the title of the episode.
Holy Ghost. No, stop.
And V, would you like to recap it for us? Hey, it opens like that.
It did. It opened up in a church. All right, so this one, Holy Ghost. So it opens with this little snippet of information in the beginning. And it says, in 1955, I'm not reading it verbatim. Just
we took notes.
Yeah, just notes. In 1955, a group of black men and women, moved into a home on the north side of Chicago. 2 days later, 3 people went missing inside the house. And then it says, pioneering is dangerous. So I guess that means the first to do something is usually always a little bit dangerous for them. Like your Martin Luther Kings and your Malcolm X's, you know.
Because you don't know what's going to happen to you.
They've paid with their lives, but they've paved the road for
future
generations. So I think that's what that quote means. And then what it also kind of tells you is that a lot of these episodes are kind of basing their storylines on true events from the past. So it basically opens with, we have Letty, and she has bought a house in a white neighborhood. So of course, you know, they don't want her there. And so this is a couple of weeks after the mansion, the previous episode from the mansion. So we're a couple of weeks out now. So we already know that Uncle George is dead. Atticus is living with his wife. Mm-hmm. And how do you say her name? Is
it Deb? Is it
Hippolyta? Hippolyta? Something like that. I have to listen to it again. It's a unique name.
I'm so bad with names. I can't remember.
So he's living with her and her daughter in their house, and you know, kind of helping them out. I don't think he wants to leave them right away because, you know, of course,
he feels bad.
She just lost her husband, and his cousin just lost her father. Then it takes us to and by the way, they didn't tell the wife how George really died. They actually fed her this story about a racist sheriff shooting him, and then I guess they told her some story about they must have told her that they killed the sheriff because she thinks that they actually got revenge on the sheriff. So I guess that was to maybe ease her mind, but she kind of knows something's up and that's not the truth. So you see her later on in the episode mention that she knows they're not telling the truth, and she does something weird where she actually tears out a couple of pages from the Dracula book. So I don't really know what that was about, because I know
it's a certain page too.
Yeah, she opens to a certain page and rips it out. Mm-hmm. And then if you remember too, the husband also referred to the monsters in the woods as vampires. So I'm pretty sure there's something important in regards to that. So going back to Letty. Letty has bought this house, and we are finally introduced to Letty's sister, who I think may possibly be her half sister. I don't think they're full.
What's her name? Ruby?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they're full sisters. I think they're half sisters. And then she mentioned a brother. So I think we'll meet her brother probably here soon. So Letty has a brother. And so she talks her sister into moving into this mansion. The sister's kind of reluctant because she knows they're going to run into issues with the white neighbors not wanting them there. And we find out that this house is haunted. Yes.
Very haunted.
Very haunted. So we find that out. Actually, there's Letty throws a house party, and the cops, of course, show up. They're being terrorized by the racist neighbors who park their cars outside, basically, and have like bricks tied to the steering wheel.
So that it blows the horn. Blows. The whole entire...
Yeah. And Letty has just had it up to here with that, and she goes out with the baseball bat and just breaks all their windows, and then the cops show up. So basically, she gets arrested. Then we find out this sheriff tells her that 8 people actually died in this house. 8 black people actually died in this house. And then then Letty finds out that there was a scientist that used to live there by the name of Epstein. And they said he was doing experiments in the house, but they never said what. But she kind of figures out he was experimenting on black people. So I think he was experimenting and torturing them.
Yeah.
Because when you see the ghosts, you can tell that their bodies have been mutilated in some way. And it's actually kind of creepy because you see that there are children, too. Some of the ghosts are children. The baby thing is
weird.
It's very weird. So let me see. I think I'm trying to keep it in order here. Oh, then we also learn that the ghosts in this house know that George is dead, because the kids are playing with the Ouija board in the basement. So this is George's daughter playing with some other kids in the basement, and the Ouija board actually spells out George is dead. And she thinks it's the other kids being mean, but it's not. It's the ghost in the house actually letting her know that. And there's a ghost in the house that's actually kind of haunting Letty. So this ghost is doing things, and you kind of think at first it's one of the black ghosts, but then you find out later on
it's not.
It's not. The scientist actually died in the house too, and that's his ghost that's actually trying to get them out of his house. Yep. So that part was really, really weird.
Because he says, "Get out, get out,
get out." And then we find out this house actually at one point in time also belonged to a Winthrop. And this was a guy, and he was actually one of the members of the Order of the Sons, or the Order of the Adams.
Order Adams, Order,
yeah. That secret organization of men that that are trying to open up this gateway to
witchcraft.
Yeah. So, and then there's another thing. There's actually a really interesting feature in this house is that there's an elevator in this house, but it's kind of wonky, only works at certain times. And so Letty, basically, like I said, she finds out all this information. The sister asked Letty how she was able to afford this house. At first, I think she lied and said that she hit the numbers or something like that. And then later on, she says that she lets it slip that she still has money left from what their mother gave to them. But then we also find out that that's not true. And it was not her hitting the number. It wasn't Letty hitting the numbers that got that house for her. It was actually Christina. Mm-hmm. What's her name again? Barthright.
Yep.
That actually sent the money for her to be able to buy this house.
And
that's because no, they're not honest. And that's because they think there's some information in there that they need from this Winthrop guy, who I guess there's certain members of this organization that have interpreted the language of Adam differently, and they each one has their separate little interpretation of this language of Adam, and then he hid his. So they're trying to find out where his is, because he was actually kicked out of the organization because he did something he wasn't supposed to do. Mm-hmm. I think they said he tore out some pages from
a book or something.
The book of Numbers or something like that. So they kicked him out of the organization because he wasn't supposed to do that. They don't know where his interpretation that he figured out from the language of Adam is. So that's why she purchased the house for Letty. So it's all tied in there. And really weird. And then after that, what we see is that Letty actually calls up on this priestess type witch doctor, I guess, to try to call out the spirits to find out what they are doing in the house. And she does a ritual where she brings a goat and she sacrifices the goat, and then she puts a blood mark on the forehead, but that's supposed to be like a shield against the ghost, like it's a barrier so that the ghost can't get to them. But while they're doing their little ritual in the basement, a pipe bursts, and of course that water washes that off. So
away.
The barrier's gone, and she gets attacked, and Atticus gets attacked, and they're possessed by spirits. And Atticus gets possessed by the spirit of the scientist, right? And he just starts going nuts and screaming.
He's the one that says, "Get out!" Yeah.
So then Letty realizes that the other spirits in the house are not actually on his side. So that's the spirits of the dead black people. So she actually calls on them to help
her.
And they do. They come to her rescue, and they do the chant to get his spirit out of the house. And what we see, going back to the baby you were talking about, so there's a ghost that's a man's body with a baby's head on top of it.
It's so weird.
But what it's signifying, I think, is that at the time that person was killed, it was a baby.
Yeah.
So he killed a baby, and like there was other small children, because once his spirit was gone, they actually went into what the form they probably would have been in if they had got a chance to live, right? So that part was freaky.
It was so weird.
It is so weird when you see these ghosts. But then you do realize the ghosts are actually helping Letty, because they actually take care of 3 white guys that broke into her house. They were coming in to do harm to her, and these ghosts take out
one's head.
Yeah, they cut off one's head. They take out all 3 of them for her, so they're gone. They're bye-bye.
Bye-byes.
They're bye-byes. And then it ends with, Letty's in the house. I guess the ghosts that remain they're chill with her now.
They like her.
They like her now. They allow her to use this elevator.
On and off.
You get to go up and down. But then we find out that this elevator has some secret floors below the house. And it looks like there's some enchanted writing on the wall that allows it to go down below the house. But my question is, who do you think was running that elevator? Because there's a spirit taking that elevator down to the lower level. Do you think it's the Winthrop guy, or do you think it's one of the other ghosts?
It could be Winthrop.
Yeah.
Or it could be one of the ghosts that was on Letty's side.
Right. So then we discover in that basement, or it's not a basement though, it's like way below the house. Way
below.
It goes like a couple floors down below the house. That's where the bodies of the 3 white guys they killed, and then there's the bodies of the
people he killed.
The people he killed, right. So I think that's where his translation of the book of
That's what they're looking
language
for.
of Adam is.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's probably below there, but you probably have to have some type of magic or
To get down there.
spell to get past, because you can tell there's a barrier. Like when it hits those floors, this like symbol in the wall lights up,
And then it goes all the way
and
down.
then it goes all the way down below
Yeah.
that. So, all right,
We'll
so that's
see.
our recap of the show.
That is
That's what
so-
happened. Did I miss anything? Did you take
No,
any
that
notes?
was, you took hit right on it. That was a very quick recap. That's why I have you do the
Was.
recaps.
Mhm.
Yep, that was I said a spirit girl. I called her spirit girl. But yeah, you covered it all. So my overall thoughts were, this episode seems slower, but
Interesting.
interesting. It was really, it was probably, we talked about it earlier, the creepiest of all so far, of all the episodes. And it's getting more interesting to me, so.
And that organization, I wrote it down. It is called the Sons of Adam.
The Sons of Adam. It's getting more interesting to me now because everything, it ties together. Like every episode is kind of in a different setting, but it's tying together
Yeah, what's going on?
what's going on. So it's keeping me hooked, and I'm excited for Sunday. So again, those are my overall thoughts. Liked
All right.
it, and
So we're still giving it a thumbs up. Continue watching.
I'll keep watching it.
Short and sweet. Let us know what you think of
Yep.
episode 3, The Holy Ghost.
Yep, let us know. Did you guys think it was as creepy as we did?
It was very creepy,
Super creepy.
but I liked it.
I did too. I think it's probably my favorite episode so far.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For sure.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Thanks for watching.